بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم مستهم البأساء والضراء وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله ألا إن نصر الله قريب.
आंसुओं और आहों की रुदाद सुन, रब्बे कौनैन मेरी भी फरियाद सुन। आज मैं दहर में सबसे मजलूम हूँ, हक पे होते हुए हक से महरूम हूँ। आज मैं दहर में सबसे मजलूम हूँ, हक पे होते हुए हक से महरूम हूँ। शाम खूरंग हूँ, सुबह मग़मूम हूँ, जिस पे चलते हैं खंजर वो हल्क़ूम हूँ। आंसुओं और आहों की रुदाद सुन, रब्बे कौनैन मेरी भी फरियाद सुन।
The most destructive floods in 100 years is how experts have described last July's devastating downpour. It is difficult to describe the enormity of the devastation. The floodwater unleashed from the river Indus engulfed an area of the size of England. The floods quickly spread across the provinces of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Balochistan, Punjab and Sindh. The surge did not discriminate in what came in its path.
It's been terrible. I saved my son, but the military left him in my village. My mother, my 5 sisters, nieces and sister-in-law are still stuck there.
It has already claimed 1,700 lives and affected over 20 million people. Homes and farmlands have been totally submerged. The waters swept away 6 million acres of crops, which included fruit, wheat, cotton and rice. The loss of over 1.2 million large animals and 6 million poultry are having a crippling effect on the country's economy. Food prices have soared, raising the already high inflation. The human cost and suffering is incalculable. Families have been severed, communities have been uprooted, schools, hospitals and places of worship have been totally submerged.
All the children that you see around me, by the side of me, they've all been affected. They all have a story to tell. This little child here, he was at home when just before the flood came, and him, his mother, his father, and his 3 siblings. Now his father had already injured his leg in an accident, and he had like a steel rod supporting his leg. Now, when the water came, he tried to dash out basically and tried to help his children. Now, as he got up, the support on his leg, it cracked and it gave way, so he was unable to move. And he basically said to his child, now it's very, very difficult, I'm trying to hold back my tears and emotions, but he basically said to his wife that you take the children and leave me here. Now, according to his son here that sat next to me, he said that we saw the water take our father away in front of our own eyes. And him witnessing the death of his father in front of his eyes is going to be with him forever and ever and ever. This is the story of one child. There's millions of other stories, and these are the people that we've come here to help on behalf of Ummah Welfare Trust.
هزتني نسمات الليالي فتراءى ببالي طيف آلام مرير أبكتني صرخات الأيام وأنين تنامى حول قيد وأسير تكويني شهقات الثكالى طعنات توالى دمعة الطفل الغريب مديني يا شراع الزمان لربوع الأماني لمدى زاهن.
Their entire way of life is threatened. With the outbreak of acute diarrhea, acute respiratory tract infections, skin infections and malaria, the chances of survival is becoming more and more dire. The survivors are in need of our help and support. It is our duty at their hour of need. Muslims across the UK rose up to the challenge. An emergency fundraising campaign was launched by Ummah Welfare Trust. We raised a record £3.2 million within weeks of the floods. The generous donations of the Muslim community have allowed us to initiate an effective relief operation in the flood-stricken areas. The Ummah Children Academy, located in Nowshera, is only yards away from the floodwater. It is currently being used as the headquarters for the relief effort. The relief operation has been initiated in 2 phases. The installation of makeshift clinics were vital. A total of 9 medical camps were set up in Nowshera, Charsadda, Sindh and Swat. The camps provided emergency treatment and were aimed at preventing an outbreak of waterborne diseases. We have had a record number of people benefiting from this particular service.
He states that there's 103 families here. In total, there's 655 people here who Ummah Welfare accommodate for. There's 3 doctors here, 2 male and 1 female. Cooked food is provided here twice, 2 times a day, once before Iftari and once before Sahri. There's also clean water here, and every single family has been provided with a tent.
Over 68,000 men, women and children have received treatment since the floods began. People lost their homes, food, crops and animals. We provided 2 hot meals a day during the month of Ramadan. This enabled our brothers and sisters to eat during suhoor and iftar. We targeted the most affected regions of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Nowshera, Sindh and Punjab. With your help, we have provided meals for over 160,000 people. A team was deployed to erect tents to provide basic shelter and privacy for families. Each tent could accommodate up to 8 people. A total of 13 tent villages have been erected within Nowshera, Charsadda, Deri Ismail Khan, Swat and Punjab. Each family was supplied with an emergency pack which included essential items to help them to go about their daily lives. Before the erection of these tents, people were forced to live in the open. These tents have provided short-term shelter. We will need to provide long-term housing solutions for the homeless. Ummah tent villages are currently providing shelter for approximately 3,000 families and 17,000 individuals. The scale of the damage has made it difficult to operate in certain regions. Ummah Welfare Trust has distributed light packages in these areas. A total of 18,000 packages have already been distributed, and an additional 6,000 packages have been allocated for distribution. We have already spent over £1.4 million in this phase and have allocated a further £500,000 as reserves.